Let's talk a little real estate. Bryan here with your June market update. So what happened last month? Well, interest rates continue to be bipolar. We saw rates reaching a peak not seen since October of last year, only to come back down to around 7% right now. And while some buyers have taken themselves out of the market for numerous reasons, I still have clients, online trolls, and voices in the shadows intimating that a crash is coming and there's a bunch of defaulted loans that are going to flood the market with foreclosures. So while I've debunked this multiple times by illustrating the minuscule amount of notice of defaults that are filed in Clark County, perhaps this little gem will drive the point home a little bit more. This chart illustrates the amount of seriously delinquent loans by loan type. Now, regardless of loan type, you can clearly see that the delinquency rates are the lowest they've been in 20 years. Even simple logic dictates that unless you purchased your home in the last year, you should have plenty of equity, not only to be able to afford to sell, but to make a healthy profit as well. So please, the next time someone brings this subject up, ask them where their tangible proof is. Speaking of proof, let's dig into our normal analytics and see what happened last month and where this kooky market is headed. So stay tuned. Okay, first up, let's check out last month's sales. Last month, we sold 2,034 homes. While this was a marginal increase over April's numbers, we were actually down 1% from last year's sales. Keep in mind that sales last year was terrible to begin with. Normally, we sell roughly 3,000 homes during the month of May. So realistically, sales are off about 33% from the norm. Suffice to say, sales are very much down. So with sales still slumping, let's see what effect, if any, this had on the median price. As you can see on the screen now, we managed to increase the median price by about $1,000 to end up at just under $471,000. So sales are down and prices are up. Clearly, that means that inventory must be decreasing, right? Well, as you can see, inventory rose by just over 8% last month. That's the highest percentage increase since December of 22. Now, before you get too excited over that statistic, that 8% only represents 283 homes. So while it's a step in the right direction, it's also just a drop in the bucket. This still translates into a 7-week supply of inventory. By any measure, this indicates a hyper seller's market. All right, let's check out housing absorption by price range. This metric illustrates how different price ranges are performing. While your entry-level buyers are fighting against 5 to 10 offers, the buyer for an ultra-luxury home may have a very different experience. So let's see how each price range is trending and then look at the entire market as a whole. Now, normally I don't bother with homes under $250,000 since last month we were down to only 30 homes in the entire valley. But this was interesting. We went from 30 homes up to 88 homes. More interesting, last month we had 83% saturation, and now that number plummeted to only 47%. Now, to me, that looks like some investors are dumping their lower end properties. Either way you look at it, owner occupants and investors alike aren't biting on what's out there though. All right, next we have the bulk of our entire market, homes priced between $250,000 and $500,000. We went from 53% saturation down to only 49%. Next, we have homes priced between $500,000 and $750,000. This decreased from 44% down to 39%. Next, we have homes priced between $750,000 and $1 million. Are you starting to see a trend here? This too saw a 5% decline from 36% to 31%. All right, now let's talk luxury, homes priced between $1 million and $1.5 million. This decreased by 4% from 30 to 26. Finally, we have the ultra luxury market of homes priced over $1.5 million, and this saw a marginal decline of just 1%. Overall, the market saturation dipped from 44% to 40%. Now, there's some very interesting takeaways here. While the saturation levels dropped overall by 4%, we actually have slightly more homes under contract than we did last month. It's just that we saw much more inventory added during the course of the last month. Now, while we have more homes under contract in the 250 to 500 price range, everything between 500 and 1.5 million was actually down. Considering we have about the same number of homes under contract as we did last month, this indicates that next month's sales should be pretty much mirroring the 2,000 homes that we just sold this past month. So let's go and try to make some sense out of all this madness. Sales are down, median price seems to have, stabilized a bit, and inventory is actually increasing. As a result, the market is loosening up a tad bit. So what's going on here, and where is this actually headed? With rates vacillating between 7% and over 7.5, many buyers are just tired and have voluntarily taken themselves out of the game. Many high-end buyers, however, have hit the pause button until after the election. Now, unfortunately, most of these buyers likely have no idea that if and when the new commission structure goes into place, their cost to purchase is going to be much higher. This especially is going to hurt first-time and low-end buyers the most. As we discussed during the intro, prices aren't likely to crash anytime in the near future. So if you're looking to purchase, I still say marry the house, date the rate. Meaning, I 100% say purchase now if you can, and plan on refinancing in a couple years when rates are more favorable. Now, nowhere is this advice more prevalent than for those low-end buyers, as the immediate cost of purchase is likely going to increase 2 to 3% as they soon will be paying for their agent's commission. So if you think it's rough now, it's about to become much more challenging soon for these buyers. Now, if you're looking to sell, this is much more of a gamble. If you have a low-end home to sell, it actually might make more sense to wait until the commission structure changes in a few months. Most likely, you'll squeeze a couple percent more to your bottom line by not having to pay the buyer's agent's commission anymore. Now, you'll likely have multiple offers, and some of them won't include a commission baked in, since investors and corporations won't bother. Now, if you're on the higher end, you're less likely to have these multiple offers, and therefore more likely to wind up negotiating that normal commission right back into the deal. It probably makes the most sense to either sell now and capture the summer rush and motivation, or just wait completely until next year after the election and after this whole commission structure changes are completely ironed out. Listing your home in mid-November during the holidays is never the optimal time, typically. Well, that's it for this month, guys. I've got some great property tours coming your way, so please like this video and be sure to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Deuces.